From the publishers of Fair Housing Coach, meet property manager Paul. Paul works for a property management company and encounters many of the same issues you do. According to his community's rules, property manager Paul can evict any tenant who unreasonably hasn't paid rent for more than 3 consecutive months. Property manager Paul has consistently enforced this policy for the last 10 years, except during the pandemic-related eviction moratorium. Just as he's preparing to evict a mobility-impaired tenant who hasn't paid rent for 3 consecutive months, the tenant comes to him to request a designated handicap parking spot. Can property manager Paul evict him? A. No, because it would be retaliation for requesting a reasonable accommodation. B. Yes, if he doesn't have a reasonable excuse for not paying the rent. C. Yes, if Paul can prove that he doesn't really need the accommodation. Correct answer, B. Yes, Paul can evict him if he doesn't have a reasonable excuse for not paying the rent. You're allowed to enforce your community rules against tenants after they exercise a fair housing right, as long as it's for a legitimate, non-discriminatory purpose, and you've consistently enforced these rules in the past. Requiring tenants to pay rent is clearly a legitimate and non-discriminatory purpose, and Paul's community has consistently, over 10 years, evicted others for violating the policy. As a result, the eviction is justifiable and not a pretext for retaliating against the tenant for requesting an accommodation. So, B is the right answer. Get more information about fair housing compliance by going to www.fairhousingcoach.com/subscribe.